Welcome to our channel with new interesting episode. John Deere, once the cornerstone of American farming, now faces a crisis that endangers not only its future but also the survival of an entire industry. For generations, farmers trusted the company for their machinery, but now that trust is fading, and the impact is being felt far beyond the headquarters in Moline, Illinois. The story of John Deere's success is deeply connected to small farming towns where its factories were the lifeblood of the community. In places like Waterloo, Iowa and Moline, Illinois, the company was the primary employer, providing thousands of well-paying jobs that supported entire neighborhoods and local businesses. When John Deere decided to lay off over 4,500 workers between 2015 and 2024, the consequences spread quickly throughout the agricultural landscape. What initially appeared to be a move to improve efficiency and cut costs soon had far more devastating effects. Local businesses, restaurants, grocery stores, and small shops that depended on the income of these workers suddenly found themselves struggling to survive. As the layoffs continued, many families left in search of better opportunities, causing home values to drop and local economies to collapse. The ripple effect was felt in schools as well, which faced severe funding cuts due to declining property taxes. When John Deere shut down plants and let go of workers, it was not just the company's profits at stake, it was the future of entire towns. Adding to the crisis, farmers have been deeply affected by John Deere's right to repair policy. In the past, farmers could fix their own tractors or hire independent mechanics for routine repairs. However, as technology advanced, John Deere began locking the software and diagnostic systems of their equipment behind a digital barrier. Now, even minor fixes like replacing a sensor or updating software require a visit to an authorized service center that charges high fees. Many farmers feel betrayed because they have invested so much money in machinery that they no longer fully own. This new policy is seen as a form of extortion by many in the farming community, sparking protests, lawsuits, and calls for legislation that would give farmers more control over their equipment. Several states have already passed laws to push for more repair freedom, while competitors such as Kubota, AXO, and KIH have started offering more affordable and repair-friendly machines. Some farmers have even turned to importing equipment from other countries to avoid the restrictions imposed by John Deere. John Deere's grip on the agricultural machinery market has been slipping for years. While the company once dominated the industry, new competitors are now offering machines that are not only more affordable but also easier to repair. This shift is critical as the cost of farming continues to rise, putting extra financial strain on farmers. With high prices and strict repair policies, John Deere is losing market share to both domestic and international companies. Chinese manufacturers like YTO Group and Zumlian have begun offering tractors and harvesters at much lower prices, appealing to farmers who need reliable and cost-effective equipment. This competition is intensifying as China also boosts its own agricultural production, which has contributed to a significant drop in global crop prices. For American farmers, lower crop prices mean less profit and increased financial pressure, making the cheaper alternatives from overseas even more attractive. On top of these economic challenges, John Deere has also encountered political and social backlash. In 2024, the company made the controversial decision to move part of its manufacturing operations to Mexico, where labor costs are lower. This move was met with widespread criticism from farmers, factory workers, and politicians who saw it as a betrayal of American workers. The situation escalated when then-presidential candidate Donald Trump threatened to impose heavy tariffs on John Deere's equipment made in Mexico. Such tariffs could make the machinery even more expensive for American farmers, worsening an already difficult financial situation. This political pressure puts John Deere in a tough position: continue outsourcing to save on production costs or reverse the decision and face higher costs and potentially lower profits. Another major challenge is the labor shortage in the agricultural sector. Over 70% of farm workers in the United States are immigrants, many of whom are undocumented. Stricter immigration policies now threaten to reduce the number of workers available for farming. This shortage is already causing problems, with some farmers unable to harvest their crops because there aren't enough workers. Since John Deere's machinery is designed to be operated by farm workers, a declining labor force could reduce the demand for new equipment. To address this issue, the company may need to invest in new technologies like automation and robotics. However, such changes require significant investment and must be made affordable for small farmers who are already struggling financially. Finally, falling crop prices have further squeezed U.S. farmers. Since 2022, prices for corn, soybeans, and wheat have dropped dramatically, which means farmers are earning less income even as their costs rise. John Deere, as the leading supplier of farming equipment, is not immune to these market pressures. With lower profits and a shift toward more affordable machinery options, the company faces a future where its dominance in the industry is no longer guaranteed. Farmers depend on expensive equipment, and with shrinking profits, many are finding it harder to justify spending large amounts on new machinery. This situation could lead to a significant drop in sales for John Deere as farmers begin to look for cheaper options from other manufacturers. The global decrease in crop prices, along with rising costs for fertilizers, fuel, and land, has put U.S. farmers in a difficult position, and many now wonder if they can continue to compete in the global market. If demand for American agricultural products continues to fall, John Deere's financial situation may become even more unstable. Farmers need equipment that is both affordable and reliable, along with solutions to help them cope with rising prices. Climate change is one of the biggest challenges facing farmers today. Extreme weather events such as floods, droughts, hurricanes, and wildfires are becoming more common and severe. This makes growing seasons unpredictable and increases the risk of crop failure. While weather has always been a challenge for farming, the current scale and frequency of these events are changing everything for companies like John Deere. To stay relevant, the company must develop equipment that can handle these unpredictable conditions. This could mean creating machines that work well in extreme heat or dryness, or designing equipment that can survive floods and fires. However, smaller farmers, who often operate on very tight budgets, may struggle to afford such investments. If John Deere does not adjust its pricing strategy, it risks losing the very farmers who need its support the most. Another major issue is the consolidation of land by large agricultural businesses. Over the years, many small, family-owned farms have been bought out by big corporations that have the resources to handle economic downturns. These larger companies can afford to buy lots of equipment and maintain long-term relationships with suppliers like John Deere. At the same time, as big corporations take over, smaller independent farms, which once helped build John Deere's reputation, are disappearing. This shift means that while large agribusinesses can offer stable revenue, the decline of small farms could hurt the company's connection with its traditional customer base. John Deere now faces a perfect storm of challenges including rising competition, falling crop prices, labor shortages, political pressures, and climate change. The company, once synonymous with American farming, now confronts a future filled with uncertainties. Its premium-priced, high-end machinery is increasingly seen as too expensive by many farmers, who are being attracted by more affordable, repair-friendly alternatives from competitors. Moreover, while John Deere has made some progress in incorporating automation and data-driven technologies, critics say its efforts have been slower compared to other brands that offer more cost-effective solutions for small and medium-sized farms. Additionally, the company's strict repair policies and high equipment prices are pushing farmers away. With global competition heating up, including from Chinese manufacturers offering lower-priced machines, John Deere must rethink its approach. The rise of cheaper equipment means that American farmers, already under financial strain from low crop prices and high input costs, have limited options. They are looking for machinery that is both affordable and adaptable to new challenges like climate change and labor shortages. In summary, the challenges John Deere faces are interconnected and complex. The combination of economic pressures, environmental changes, market consolidation, and stiff competition is testing the company's ability to adapt and innovate. The future of John Deere, and possibly the U.S. farming industry, depends on whether the company can adjust its business model, lower its prices, relax its restrictive policies, and invest in new, climate-smart technologies. The outcome will determine if John Deere can continue to be a leader in agricultural machinery or if it will be overtaken by more agile and responsive competitors. Thanks for watching. Keep it and stay tuned. Like and subscribe our channel. It's a gift for us from you people. Have a good day.